Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check it out. There's a new Amicus brief filing, and it's in support of the SEC that XRP is a security. They talk about grandfathering XRP holders in and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And yes, it is a $924 billion cryptocurrency market cap. We're up 4%. Good afternoon. 17,500 plus for Bitcoin, still off by 13% on the 7-day. 1,200 plus, almost $1,300 for Ethereum, 15% plus down on the 7-day as well. XRP down 14.8% on the 7-day is 38 cents. Let's get started. If you're looking for opportunity, especially in a time like now, don't panic. There's still time to invest in my sponsor, Glint. It's hashtag GoldFi, baby. That's exactly right. It's making gold everyday money, God's money spendable every day, and there's nothing more reliable. And you can actually invest in the company if you want to. If you're outside of the United States, Cedars.com. That's what it is right there. So that's your opportunity, but you got to be outside the United States. They're almost at the full mark of investing. So if something like that is interest to you, click the link underneath the video. If not, try Glint and get that gold and get it on your card and start spending it. You won't stop once you do. It is an incredible feeling. Now, this was something that popped off earlier and had me concerned, and I did do some research, and as of today, it said El Salvador's Bitcoin holdings were on FTX, and my stomach dropped when I saw that, but I did find this article here that happens to say that that is not the case. President is Bukele. I think I just said that correct because I just talked to a gentleman who was from El Salvador, and he said it's Bukele. So confirmed that the misinformation is insane. He said, I exchanged messages with President Nayib Bukele a few moments ago, and he said that we don't have any Bitcoin in FTX, and we never had any business with them. Thank God. That's what was reported there, according to Mike Novogratz and CZ Binance. That was the response right there. So that's what we have for that. So hopefully that is not the case. And this, I tell you, this is another example of anything Jim Cramer says just happens to be 180 degrees the opposite. Listen to what he says about Sam Bankman-Fried, calling him the JP Morgan of this generation.
JP Morgan of this generation, Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX, yes, is slashing everybody's margin, and average fees per transaction across the industry have declined by 50%. And a lot of that is the man, Sam Bankman-Fried.
And apparently he could do that because he was spending everyone's funds that was on the platform. This is Gary Gensler here directly being asked about the meeting that was broke yesterday by Digital Asset Investor. Shout out to him. March of 2022, Gary Gensler met with FTX. Take a listen to this question.
Gary, you said people should come in, if you will. Sam Bankman-Fried, it appears from your calendar, on March 29th, 2022 at 4 p.m. came in and actually met with you, along with Brad Katsuyama of IEX, someone who has draped himself in the flag, if you will, of an honorable exchange. Do you feel like you were hoodwinked?
I think we've been clear in these meetings, and you can look at my calendar's public, many meetings with folks in this industry. Very clear in these meetings, same message to the public, same message to them, that non-compliance is not going to work. The public's going to be hurt. But also, we're going to continue on these dual paths, and if we need to, going to be the cop on the beat, going into court, putting the facts and the law in front of judges.
And look, that is his plan. That is what he is doing, right? And then they asked this guy, they asked Novogratz, does it feel illegal we'll see when he's talking and being asked about Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and the goings on there about spending the customers' funds, and then obviously let's just hear Novogratz say it here.
Help us understand what you understand. What do you think actually happened underneath the covers here?
Listen, the facts will come out in time, but what it appears happened is, Sam and probably a small group at a big firm decided to use customer funds that were at FTX, loan them to his family office, Alameda Research, and through Alameda, make large investments in illiquid stuff. $1 billion in mining, rescue finance for, BlockFi and for Voyager. All these big illiquid investments seem to have been funded with customer funds from FTX. And so, does it feel illegal? We'll see. It certainly feels immoral.
Nice to know that he at least can distinguish a line between illegal and immoral. But the funny thing is Andrew Sorkin and CNBC never seemed to ask him if investing in Ethereum as an unregistered ICO felt like a securities violation or if it seemed immoral. We'll wait, Mike. Dave Portnoy from Barstools asked whether he would still be able to get his cryptocurrency if the cryptocurrency exchange ended up going bankrupt. And David Schwartz explained that Portnoy will be treated as a creditor, which means that he will be roughly last in line. That's what's going on there. And that's the problem here. Todd Bubba Horwitz here says Bitcoin may fail and we have to prepare. It could go to zero. This is from Daniela Camboni at Stansberry Research. Shout out to all of them at Stansberry. Take a listen to this clip really quickly.
I mean, Bitcoin may fail, and I think that everybody has to be aware of if you're going to play in the crypto space, which I am a big believer, and I think it is the currency of the libertarian. I do believe that, listen, you have to be prepared that it could go to zero. There is no hard asset. It's not like gold. I can't hold it in my hands. I can't look at it. I can't touch it. So it's a little tricky, but I do think that crypto is real, and I do think that crypto is going to be the wave of the future as you watch the central banking system trying to convince everybody to go to a digital currency, which is not a cryptocurrency. And I think they want to make a worldwide digital, which they can have total control of it. And I think that's what you're seeing some of the problems here. And I do believe that the cryptos are real. But again, always in that kind of market, it's very speculative still. But Russia's using a lot of crypto right now because of some of their restrictions, so they get around it through crypto, as are others. And the blockchain technology is phenomenal and been around for years. So I think they're real. I'd be looking to be a buyer at some point here, knowing though that I have to take risk.
Well, it's funny because it is a nice reminder here for all of us to know that we are not just investors. We are investors in a new emerging asset class, which also makes us speculators. And it's important to remember that we're not just investing in a traditional market. We are investing in a brand new space that we still have yet to see be defined. And I know that may feel very obvious to most of you, but I think it's worth noting and saying out loud for all of us to really recognize what we're doing, where we are, right? It's never hurts to say, I got it, and I'm still going forward, because that's what I've done. But I'm not financial advice, but it never hurts to have a little self-reflection based on the understanding that everything we're looking at can go to zero. It's almost as if the government was backing FTX to crash crypto so they could come in and regulate it harshly. We are getting right over the target. Crypto is not the problem. Corruption is. And I completely agree here. I say, yes, sir. Give the nod here, digital asset investor. That is it. I think he's right on the money. And Tom Emmer says, Gary Gensler runs to the media as I played for everybody here. While reports to his office, Tom Emmer's office, allege he was helping SBF and FTX work on legal loopholes to obtain a regulatory monopoly. We're looking into this. I asked Tom Emmer, when they get done looking into it, can you make sure Congress actually takes action to stop the corruption that appears to be afoot? I may not hold my breath. But Congress needs to subpoena the notes from the meeting with SBF FTX. Empower Oversight and others need to do FOIA requests and send those in for all meetings with FTX and SBF. If Sam Bankman-Fried wants to help crypto, he will share all emails and communications with the U.S. regulators. Absolutely. John Dean goes on to say here, the exchanges need to coordinate with each other about where they stand with the SEC. Share with each other whether you've received investigative subpoenas or letters to preserve evidence from the SEC. We need to set aside all competitive issues on personal BS. We are at a watershed moment, John Deaton says, and I think rightfully so. We come together and fight harder than ever as a united industry, or we let the bad actors help those that want to see crypto dead. When we rise from the rubble, we can then let the free markets decide the rest. I tell you what, there's no mistake why John Deaton's a leader in this space, and I'm grateful for it. Tether freezes $46 million linked to FTX address at the request of law enforcement. There were other reports out earlier as well that suggest FTX was trying to do some retaliation to the fact that Binance pretty much clipped their wings, and they were looking to return the favor, it would appear, by trying to short a huge position that Binance has of Tether. Tether's still an issue, ladies and gentlemen, and I ask you, is USD coin pole position just one collapse away? USD Tether collapse would certainly crush crypto, as Mr. Whale says here, but it could also serve as the black swan event to get Congress to act, maybe even introduce USDC as the official retail digital dollar for the United States. We're watching it. Oh, and we learned here today, and we're getting ready to get into some massive information about this new Amicus brief filing. If you didn't go anywhere, you did yourself well. We got fire for you. And this is pretty fire right here. This is Eternity Chain and Eternal, basically bringing NFTs, globally recognized brands and individuals, onto the XRP ledger. Eternal Labs is what we're talking about here. And if we go into this, I'm going to read this last half here. Eternal Labs is one of the first independent beneficiaries of Ripple's Creator Fund, as announced by Ripple in March. The Creator Fund is a $250 million commitment from Ripple to foster NFT creation on the XRP ledger as it assists independent creators and creative studios. On Monday, Crypto Basic noted that one of the first independent beneficiaries of the Creator Fund, NFT Marketplace on XRP, disclosed that it had indexed about 240,000 NFTs and 9,000 projects on the XRP ledger in just a week after the XLS20 protocol brought NFT functionalities to the ledger. Yeah, I think we can see where that's going, right? And you might see where this is going too. This is Caitlin Long talking about what we've been following very closely here now. Twitter is headed into SuperApp status in 3, 2, 1. Signal, not noise. Well, of course, Elon filed paperwork to get Twitter into the payment business, ladies and gentlemen, just as Caitlin Long predicted, and she's absolutely right. And I want to give Digital Asset Investor a shout out right now, too. You tell him I said so, because I tell you what, I remember when he was taking a lot of heat back in the day about Starlink, the QFS, and how it could all be tied together. Well, it appears to me that he may have been more on target than any of us ever realized. I never doubted him to begin with, but I can tell you it's looking more and more evidentiary to me that there is some kind of tie here. Imagine now that you have some kind of internet cyber attack or outage, but Starlink can't be turned off. And Starlink's a messaging platform. And not too long from now, Starlink also is a payments platform. Twitter is a super app. That's what we're talking about. They filed with FinCEN to process payments. The same FinCEN that ruled that XRP is in fact a virtual currency. And that brings us to this recent filing right here, ladies and gentlemen. DBA InvestReady. It's really a Credifi, but they do business as InvestReady, has filed a motion to file amicus brief in support of the SEC. You heard it right. And this is the kind of stuff that's being said in it. They're calling for a possible Ripple decentralization test. New Amicus brief filing in the SEC versus Ripple appears to support XRP as a security, a Ripple decentralization test. Yes. Some of the language of Director Hinman's speech about decentralization provides us with the Ripple decentralization test, where if a particular asset such as a digital token is sufficiently decentralized, it would presumptively not be considered an investment contract and therefore be classified as a commodity. The test can examine 4 factors: central control, utility, payment, ownership structure, and breadth of ownership. Then it says this. It says here in this particular section here, for solutions to allow for Ripple and ETH holders alike to be grandfathered into compliance. Given that XRP is a security, the downstream effects must be considered, although the SEC was overwhelmed with the 2017 crypto wave, giving them leave to take more time that would normally be acceptable to bring their 2020 suit against XRP. Investors in the XRP token are likewise innocent from liability and should not be punished for failing to anticipate an event that even the SEC could not. Ripple, the company, should be made to compensate these early investors. Have we not talked about this? Their transgressions, but at the same time, it is also not in the best interest of these investors to so destroy Ripple and XRP with the draconian punishment that underlying utility as well as the investors' capital are destroyed. This is an amicus brief filing I'm reading to you. We've speculated about this this specific kind of outcome or suggestion of an outcome has been filed now. Unique circumstances should lead to unique solutions, and so in this case, the SEC should settle with Ripple, allowing the token to continue to be traded, be deemed a security after the fact, and sold via 144 exemption. You could go back and try to apply Reg D 506C, requiring investors to be accredited. Have we not talked about this? Now it's being filed in here. But this would most likely be too cumbersome and would unfairly hurt non-accredited investors holding XRP. Agreed. We've talked about that plenty here too. Given that it has been around for years and the initial holding period for a Reg D fundraise is 1 year, these investors should be grandfathered in, and the sale should be subject to a special exemption after the fact that minimizes industry disruption. Are you hearing what I am reading to you right now? This was just filed by InvestReady or Accredify in support of the SEC that XRP is in fact a security, suggesting that we all be grandfathered in. And they could even make it accredited investors only going forward. We've talked about this. Conclusion, they say the foregoing reasons the court should grant the SEC's motion for summary judgment dismissing Ripple's fair notice defense and rule in favor of the SEC's claims against Ripple. And this is actually the motion, and the filing, and I went through every bit of it. And it is fire. You should read it. They use William Hinman's speech as a great part of their argument. It is, I cannot wait to hear from John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan and other legal analysts, Bill Belisarius, Fred Rispoli, and others in this space on that recent filing here. If you do not know by now, I want to tell you that iTrustCapital has made a statement, and I said it yesterday because I know that they made a statement when Celsius went down. iTrustCapital software platform has no direct exposure to FTX, its native token FTT, or Alameda Research. FTX is not used as a service provider for iTrust, and the FTT coin is not an investable asset on the iTrustCapital platform. As Brian Armstrong of Coinbase stated yesterday, this situation appears to have been the result of business decisions and leadership within FTX, not a direct result of asset or token behavior. iTrustCapital does not touch client funding. We do not lend, borrow, or leverage any client or company assets, and we do not allow our partners to do so either. Our goal is always to help our clients, and we remain committed to that goal. iTrustCapital serves as a software platform to allow clients to pursue a path towards self-directed IRAs that contain alternative investments. We strive to maintain our platform integrity and our clients' trust. Our interim CEO, Kevin Maloney, made a statement today to clarify the situation that our clients, which can be read here, and it gives the list. It's all laid out. Look, and here's the other deal. There's really nowhere that I know of that you can get institutional custody, except when you buy a crypto IRA, because that's where it goes when it's at iTrust. Check out my sponsor. Click the link underneath the video. Not a financial advisor, just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.